Hello bass family, and welcome to Everything Bass. I'm going to show you a drill, a little exercise that was shown to me decades ago by a guitar player who I really admired. And I started adding it to my workout or my practice routine to get better at hammer-ons and pull-offs, and also make sure that I wasn't dependent on always hammering on and pulling off between the same fingers. I've been teaching for 30 years, over 30 years now. And I've come across students who, whenever they hammer on, they might hold down always with their index finger and hammer on always with their ring, or always with the middle. And sometimes that doesn't work melodically, or it makes things harder than they should be, depending on the piece of music you're trying to play. So when this guitarist showed me this exercise, I thought, wow, okay, this is really cool. And for me, it was a really good warm-up, and it is kind of a workout routine, and I'll show you why. I played a little bit of it during the intro there. But let's go to the 12th fret G string. Now I'm starting on the G string simply for the fact that it's one of the easiest strings for us to do hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now once you get this exercise down, I would encourage you to move it to every string on your bass, no matter how, and if you have a 6th string with a higher string, use that. Use whatever's the easiest for you to do this exercise. So the exercise starts simply by you pluck while holding down the 12th fret. And that's the last time you pluck. Then you hammer on with your middle finger on the 13th fret and pull off. Hammer on with your ring finger on the 14th fret, pull off. And then 16th fret with your pinky, pull off. And then come back down with your ring finger. So it ends up sounding like this. Okay? Now I've written it out. On the sheet music you can download, it's pretty much just that exercise over and over again. And this will be probably one of the shortest videos I ever do, but I think it's an important exercise, and I'd like to see how you guys feel it. So the idea is, once you pluck once, just see if you can keep it going and how long you can keep it going. Now this again is not necessarily musical. It's not something I would see you guys do. Maybe I don't know. You guys are creative. But it's really like a boxer jumping rope. This is something you can do as an exercise. Now, you'd never jump in the ring to fight and bring your rope with you. This is just to get your hammer-ons, pull-offs, your fretting hand stronger, more independent. So when you pluck once and then get the train going, don't stop. Don't pluck again. And just sit there and do this. Now sometimes you might think like, wow, fast is cool. Actually, slow develops more muscle, develops more stretch and flexibility because you're activating them longer. Now, how long can you do it? In my youth, I would just see, and sure enough, after several minutes, your hand starts to slow down, your muscles get tired. Now, you don't want to necessarily do it till there's pain. I definitely don't want you guys like hurting yourself by overuse. But if you can keep it going for a minute or so and there's no pain and no overwhelming weakness, that's great. Now you can move it to other strings. If I start on the 12th fret D on the D string, you'll find it's a little harder now because manipulating that heavier string takes a little more strength. I probably won't be able to go as long this way. Going to the A, still harder. Now, it's funny though, when you get to the heavier strings, it doesn't take as much force to make a good loud note, but still it's hard to manipulate with that pull-off mostly. The hammer-on's easy, the pull-off is where it becomes a little trickier. And then the E, and of course go to any string you have 5 string, 6 string, 7 string, try doing it. Be cognizant, any kind of pain at all, you got to stop and make a note of the time, and that's too long for you to do it. Gosh, this is, if you guys see me play out live and you see me during kind of the setup sound checky thing, you'll see I do this for a little bit. I like to sit there on this string, just kind of get it going, I don't know, about 10 times, and then I might move it around, just kind of to get warmed up, get that stretch going. But if you struggled with hammer-ons and pull-offs, or you find yourself dominant with just between 2 fingers, always, like no matter what you're doing, you always have to do that, try this. See if you can get it evenly between all fingers. Make all the hammer-ons the same volume, all the pull-offs the same volume, and start slow. Don't go for the end goal of being fast. Just try to start as slow as it need. Even if you just break that one down. Now let's say you've never hammered around with your ring finger. Break that down. And just kind of make sure they're all the same volume. Same with the pinky. Some people are great with the pinky. It's a short little stubby finger. I think it's kind of easy to use, but if you just haven't used your pinky much, it's going to be difficult. Be gracious with yourself, be patient, take time, and only do little bits. Remember, little bits. Work up your time, and you'll find benefits beyond just this drill. You'll find that your standard playing gets cleaner and quicker because you've developed these muscles. What I like about this exercise, as opposed to like squeezing a tennis ball or something like that to develop your muscles, is when you're squeezing something, you're really working this muscle out. And in fact, you have a tendency to relax and let that ball pop your fingers open. You're not really exercising the muscles to open. And I always forget reflexors and whatever they're called, but there's muscles you need to open your hand and there's muscles you need to close your hand. With squeezing devices, I find that it gets that really good, but you don't equally develop both sets of muscles. This will, because you're pulling down and you're pulling off, which takes a little muscle control, and you're pulling that finger up. And I find this over any kind of mechanical device help me get my fretting hand together quicker. All right, now today we're just going with one of my favorite albums of all time. I can't believe it took me this long to get to it. It's from 1973, and it is Tower Power's titular album. It was named Tower Power, and it is the classic album. In fact, I think, I might be wrong, but sometimes when you search on Google or Bing or anything, you put Tower Power in, it seems like this album pops up a lot. So it seems like the graphic or the JPEG they show is this album. And it has, of course, their iconic song, What Is Hip? And What Is Hip is a great song, and it's a great workout. I chose that for this because it's such a demanding physical song to play. So you might find that you can use it as kind of a measuring tool. Download the sheet music if you can play along with it, and then if you have problems, try these advanced hammer on pull-offs, try some of the alternating drills that I've given you, and then go back and see if you've gotten better. Isolate sections like that great section between the verse and the chorus. The bridge section, so cool. But anyway, so What Is Hip is awesome. But I think sometimes we focus on that song and we don't look at the gems also on the album. Looking at Soul Vaccination, I mean, this has been included in a lot of their best of albums. They play it live a lot. I've seen them play it live several times. It's just a great song. Get Your Feet on the Ground. Oh man, I love the groove in this tune, and I love this is David Garibaldi on drums, Rocco Prescia on bass, and that song really shows that they were just like connected psychically or something. I just love it. This Time It's Real. It's funny when I think musicians get really into funk, they want to play the upbeat, over the top funk songs, but when you can hear what Tower Power does with the song as beautiful as This Time It's Real, man, the bass line is great and the pocket is deep and it's just beautiful. So if you're loving funk, now remember, it's all fingerstyle. Rocco was not a slapper, but honestly, he's funkier than a lot of slappers I know, myself included. So check it out. Give it a listen. And what are your favorite songs? What tracks was it? What Is Hip? Do you think What Is Hip was the best track on the album? Put it in the comments below. What are some of the deeper cuts? What are some of the tracks and why? Like, I'd love for you to say, "Hey, I love this song," or "I love," you're right. This Time It's Real is great. But tell me why. What I'm not calling you out. I'm just wanting to get your interpretation because it might help me listen to the song differently. Hey, in all honesty, I created this channel initially because I did want a bass community. Not just bass lessons, but I wanted to highlight players I knew or players I have yet to know, that I get to know. I wanted to give everyone a voice, but I wanted to learn. I felt in some ways I plateaued, in some ways I stagnated in who I was listening to and who was inspiring me. Since this channel started, which was January 1st, 2020, you guys have turned me on to so many great players and reminded me of players that I've kind of forgotten. And a lot of these Encore items are because of your guys' comments. But not this one. I grew up in Northern California, and just not too far from the Bay Area. And Tower Power was just from the very get-go, just sent seismic shocks through all of Northern California, and we all adopted them. We love them, and they just continually put out great album after great album. They're one of those bands where I say you could pretty much buy every one of their albums or stream every one of their albums, and there's not a dud among them. Just great musicianship, great spirit, great playing. Oh my gosh, great playing and great groove. All right, hammer on pull off drills for you to kind of get that hammer and pull off refined and like a machine. And then of course Tower of Power, self-titled album from 1973, Tower of Power. Thanks guys so much. I think I described this well enough, but if you still want to download sheet music for this video and all my videos, you can just go to the link in the description for my Patreon account. For just $8 a month, you get access to every written piece of music, all my play along files, any other content. I am coming up with more exclusive Patreon content soon, so look for that. But yeah, you know, consider becoming a supporter of the channel. It would mean a lot to me and my family. Thank you so much. Of course, subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to for free. Just hit the button below, hit the little bell icon. It'll let you know every time I put a video up. And you know, like the video. It's a little thing, but if you could just take a second and give me a thumbs up, only if you really like the video. If you thought it was garbage, then you know, don't. But if you like the video, those little things really add up to help this channel grow, and it means a lot to me. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you at the next video.